Hey, what's up? So today I'm going to talk about what I learned from walking 20,000 steps a day for 6 months. Now, if your goal is to increase your activity, get to 10K, 15K, 20K, or above, you're going to want to pay attention. And here's just some screenshots of the activity. As you can see, I brought some receipts. The first question you might be wondering is, did it work? The short answer is yes, but I'll get into that later, probably in a future video. So, tip number one is you do not, under any circumstances, want to start at 20,000 steps. Why? Starting too high is going to kill your feet. It's going to cause lots of pain, lots of discomfort. You're going to quit basically. You're going to maybe get 2-3 days in at 20,000 steps. You're going to wake up the next day and you're going to not even going to want to walk to the bathroom. So that's a horrible way to start. Your body needs time to adapt. Me personally, I started at 10,000 steps for about 2 months before I decided to take it up to 15K and then 20K. So if you're a beginner, you're going to want to start at 5K and then ramp it up into different increments, 10,000, 15,000, and eventually to 20,000. But whatever you do, do not jump into 20,000 right off the bat. Number two, don't try to do 20,000 steps all at once. This is another huge mistake. You're starting at 0 steps, you need to get to 20,000, and you think you're just going to do one huge walk or maybe 2 walks to get all of the way there. That's a bad idea. You want to take breaks first of all, and you also want to break it up into chunks. So 5,000 steps here, 7,000 steps here, another 5,000 steps there, and then a few more thousand steps to close out the day. It's always going to be better to break that up into chunks, not just physically, but psychologically. Me personally, I get tired at around 10,000 steps. My feet start to hurt, my calves start to get tight. So that's when I take a break and then I pick it up later. I might do another 5,000 steps later in the day and then another 5,000 later at night, but never try to do all of that at once. And just to go along with that, studies even suggest spreading your activity throughout the day is better than doing it all at once. So, for example, 3 5,000 step sessions is better than one 15,000 step session. So, again, that's going to make it a lot easier, not just only physically, but psychologically as well. Number three, you're going to want to get the right gear because this is going to save your legs and feet. Some of the stuff I use, Max Cushion running walking shoes. Some people say not to use running shoes for walking, but I personally found them very helpful. So whatever you do, please don't walk in some Converse, Chuck Taylors, or some sandals or something. I really don't suggest doing that. Your feet are gonna hurt big time. Compression clothing, this is another big one. Me personally, my calves get tight as rocks whenever I start walking for long periods of time. So I wear compression calf sleeves almost all the time I walk. I also have compression ankle sleeves. There's compression knee sleeves. Whichever issue you're struggling with the most, you're going to want to get something for that. So you don't have to get all of these, but if you find that your calves get really tight or maybe your ankles start to get stiff, get some compression clothing for that. You're going to thank yourself later. Foam roller, also something huge for your calves, hamstrings, sides of your legs. That's going to be another huge one for making sure you stay pain-free and you can continue to walk for long periods of time, day after day. Lacrosse ball is another big one. This is primarily for foot pain. So if your feet start to hurt after long walks, lacrosse ball is great for rolling on the bottom of your feet. That's going to alleviate so much of your foot pain, and that's going to make it so much easier to keep walking for long periods of time. And lastly, you're going to want to stay hydrated and get those electrolytes. You do not want to increase your physical activity without increasing your water intake and electrolytes at the same time. Me personally, I started drinking a lot more water once I started to get a lot more steps throughout the day. The problem is if you drink just water alone, that's going to cause you to flush out a lot of those electrolytes. So you don't want to just increase your water by itself. You're going to want to increase your sodium intake and potassium. So for sodium, you can sprinkle it on your food, or what I like to do is I like to mix 1 to 3 grams into shakes, coffee, sweet foods. Greek yogurt is an example. Your mileage may vary on that. I personally love salt on like almost all of my foods, especially on sweet stuff. So I go towards 3 grams, but you may want to just start at 1 gram, see how you feel, and then adjust it from there. And then potassium is another huge one to help you out with cramps. Some good sources of that are potatoes, bananas, and just potassium supplements in general. And these are going to be the big 2 that you want to incorporate into your diet. This is what I use to make walking a lot more feasible. But the big thing is, do not increase your activity without increasing your water and electrolytes. You're going to thank yourself later. And that's all I've got for now. If you found this useful, then stay tuned, like and subscribe, because I've got a lot more tips about walking, losing weight, staying active, all that good stuff coming your way.